Hey guys, Co-op Kage is back, and we got a recap video. This time we'll be going over the full Season 1 recap of Frieren. The Demon King is dead, and the heroes' party, consisting of Himmel, Eisen, Heider, and Frieren, return to the capital to a hero's welcome. Later, they all gather together to reminisce on their journey, as well as watch the once every 50-year meteor shower. The following day, Frieren separates from the party to continue her journey looking for spells and traveling. 50 years later, Frieren returns to collect the dragon horn she left with Himmel, as well as watch the meteor shower with her former comrades one last time. Shortly after, Himmel passes away, and Frieren struggles with her emotions, wondering how she traveled with them for so long, but never truly tried to know them. Years later, Heider and Frieren reconnect as he introduces her to a young mage named Fern, with the plan of allowing them to grow close. Heider is dying, and this reconnection was not about deciphering an old grimoire, but instead to get Frieren close enough with Fern that she would take Fern with her after Heider passes. Fern is still doing training when she hears about Heider, but he tasks her with not stopping until she becomes a full-blown mage, so she grits her teeth and pushes forward, not leaving until she does. After Heider passes, Frieren takes Fern with her on her journey, and we find out she enjoys collecting magic spells because Himmel used to praise her for her vast magic library. They spend the next half year hunting down an extinct flower for the sole purpose of planting them at Himmel's statue. Frieren and Fern now have a new mission: unseal the Demon Qual, who Frieren sealed 80 years ago because she was not able to kill him, and finally take him out for good. Qual invented the first piercing magic that bypassed all defenses. It killed 40% of adventurers and 70% of mages in the entire region. But it has been a long time since his sealing. Magic has long since advanced beyond Soul Track and renders this harmless. When they unseal him, and he unleashes his previously unstoppable move, Frieren blocks it with literally no effort. Frieren then ends the evil to the cheers of all the villagers. Frieren and Fern spend months cleaning up a trashed coastline. After they finish, Fern drags Frieren out of bed at dawn to watch the New Year's sunrise over the clean ocean. We then find out that Eisen, the last remaining hero party member, finds out that Heider had researched the Great Mage's notes, and they point to a location, Oriel, the land where the souls go to rest, and Himmel should be there. Frieren and Fern then head north to where the Demon King's castle used to be in search of Oriel. The first stop on their journey is through a mountain pass, which is being haunted by an Einstein monster, who takes the appearance of your loved ones luring you out. Frieren decides to help the local villagers, and while dealing with the monster, notices a solar dragon nesting nearby with the grimoire she wants. They then meet Stark, a warrior that faced the dragon alone. Only he didn't beat the dragon. The dragon just didn't view him as a threat and left him alone. Regardless, he's been living as the hero of the village for 3 years on a pure bluff. He is also Eisen's apprentice, and ran away from his hometown when demons attacked, just like Eisen once did. Stark admits that he might run away when it counts when they fight the dragon. The plan, though, is simple. Stark distracts the dragon for 30 seconds, and Frieren will then deal with it. She sees Stark trembling before the fight, and mentions Eisen used to do the same thing. Stark starts screaming that Frieren is making him fight alone, but doesn't realize that Frieren has already ended the dragon. The three of them then head north towards Regal Canyon and arrive at the checkpoint wall. It has a stated wait time of 2 years, but when they realize who Frieren is, they let them through immediately. Now in the Northern Lands, they stumble upon a liberation festival, celebrating the hero party's triumph over the Demon King. Himmel made statues of the hero party all over, not for vanity, but so that Frieren would never be alone, and once they had all passed, there would always be proof that her friends existed. The party enters Graf Ganad's domain, and tensions are high. Aura the Guillotine, one of the 7 Sages of Destruction, has sent people to negotiate. The town believes them, but Frieren doesn't. She explains that demons only learn to speak to lure prey, and they are evil and rotten to their core. Frieren then attacks a demon on sight and is sent to jail. Then the demon Drat slips into her cell and starts monologuing about how strong he is, but dies mid-sentence. Drat had killed a guard on the way in, and this is now blamed on Frieren, but nobody can stop her if she wants to leave. Stark and Fern are also trying to get out, and find that Graf Ganad is being tortured, but then he hands Stark his family emblem and tells him to go evacuate his people. A very strong demon then appears, and Fern and Stark are teaming up to deal with him. We are then told that Frieren has a nickname amongst the demons, the Slayer, and she has killed more demons than anyone else in history. Frieren can also feel Aura's mana from 10 kilometers outside the city, and we are on the verge of an epic battle between the two. We learn a little backstory on Aura. She has been terrorizing the North for decades. Her signature spell, the Scales of Obedience, takes her soul and her opponent's soul, then weigh their mana. Whoever has more mana wins and enslaves the other for eternity. Her army is not undead, but people she has enslaved. Frieren quietly frees them as she makes her way to Aura, and when they meet, they realize they fought before, 80 years ago. Frieren states Himmel is the only reason she didn't kill Aura, and now that he's gone, she can kill her with no remorse. Aura sizes up Frieren, deciding she will no doubt win in a contest of mana and start Scales of Obedience. Meanwhile, Stark and Fern are having a fight to the death, each with their respective opponents. The battle is tough, but it seems that both of them are going to come out on top. We get a full flashback for Frieren's backstory. Flom found her half dead as the sole survivor of a demon attack on her village. Flom always suppressed her mana and taught this to Frieren. Demons use mana as status, they want it as high as possible at all times, but suppress your mana until it's normal to you, and you can always catch demons off guard. Back to the present, Aura is talking as if she's won, but sees the scales tip towards Frieren. She searches hard for signs of mana suppression, but Frieren has long since mastered this, and Aura finds none. "You are standing in front of a mage who has lived for 1,000 years, Frieren tells Aura. She then completely submits to Frieren and is subsequently commanded to end her own existence. After the battle, the party heads north to the continent's largest magic city. As they are passing through the icy mountains, a blizzard hits, and Stark is close to death, forcing them to shelter in a cabin. There they find Kraft, an ancient elf monk. Kraft has lived so long that everyone who has ever known him is gone. They spend the next 6 months in the cabin, and when the blizzard breaks, Kraft tells Frieren he will see her in a few hundred years. After leaving the mountains, they arrive at the Village of the Sword. This is where Himmel pulled the hero's blade and was crowned the hero to kill the Demon King. Only we find out that wasn't true. Himmel was never able to pull out the sword, but he didn't care if he was a fake hero, saying, "What's wrong with a fake hero? I will defeat the Demon King and restore this world's peace. Then being real or fake won't matter anymore." We then find out it's Stark's birthday, and Frieren makes him a Hamburg steak, a customary gift in Eisen's region to reward a warrior. And Stark remembers his brother made him one once, right before the demons came. Stark is bit by a poisonous snake, and they have to go to a local village priest to diagnose him. He says it's a potentially fatal poison. The priest's younger brother walks in, glances at the wound, and cures it instantly. Cyan is a true genius. The party spends the rest of the episode trying to recruit Cyan to their party, and succeed in the end. Fern gets pissed at Stark for not getting her a birthday present. Later we find out Stark didn't want to make her mad, and wanted to get her something she would like, and wanted to go together to pick out her gift. A monster attacks a merchant's wagon and scrambles their luggage. Frieren then realizes she lost the ring Himmel gave her. They search as a team and eventually find it, and the ring has the same design as the bracelet Stark accidentally bought Fern, a regional sign meaning eternal love. Himmel almost certainly didn't know what it meant either, but Frieren doesn't care, because he gave it to her, and that's enough for her. The party arrives at a village where everyone is asleep. Cyan says it's due to a chaos flower subspecies. The party then falls asleep, leaving it all up to Cyan, who internally worries about waking up Frieren. The flower's leaves reflect magic, making it extremely hard to hit the core, and Frieren's magic is so strong that one reflection could one-shot the entire forest. He eventually wakes her up, she reads the situation instantly, and hits the core with her first shot. But the party needs money, and a nobleman needs Stark to play the recently deceased son for a few months so army morale doesn't dip on the news of his death. He offers a grimoire as well as payment, and Frieren accepts on their behalf instantly. To everyone's shock, it works, and now the party is off again. The party makes a detour to visit Old Man Vol, a dwarf who's been guarding a tiny mountain village for 400 years. His wife, a human, died centuries ago, and although he can no longer remember her face or voice, he protects the village because she loved it. Flashback to the hero party meeting Vol, and Himmel tells him that Frieren will carry their memories into the future. Frieren now realizes the gravity of her agreement. The party then looks for Cyan's old friend, only known as Guerrilla Warrior. They find out that the Guerrilla Warrior went to a city the opposite direction as the party is traveling, and Cyan has a decision to make about his own future. A cold snap traps the party for another month, and we see Cyan mediating another fight between Stark and Fern. Cyan then pulls Frieren aside and tells her that he has decided to go searching for his friend, the Guerrilla Warrior. The detour will cost him months, but he is determined, and with that, he's off. Fern then gets sick, but they no longer have a priest. Frieren pulls out old holy scriptures, runs a basic diagnosis, and identifies that she has the common cold. Stark goes out looking for medicinal herbs in a snowstorm, and Frieren brews up a remedy in a cauldron. Fern recovers, and they set out for Alberst. On the way to Alberst, Frieren tells Fern mana alone doesn't determine a mage's strength. Technique, experience, spell type, control, and hard work and talent all play a factor. In her 1,000 years, she has lost to mages with less mana than her 11 times. 4 demons, 1 elf, 6 humans. The party stops near Graf Renat's domain, and runs into Ubel, a mage with a staff that doubles as a spear, and Kraft, the ancient monk from the cabin. They arrive at the Continental Magic Association's northern branch and register for the mage exam. The examiner tells them they will be randomly assigned to parties of 3 and have to catch a small, supersonic, dragon-grade bird called a still, and return by sundown the next day with all 3 party members present. Stealing is implied, and Frieren is assigned to a team with Levine and Khan, two childhood friends. After a very unsuccessful first day, Khan notices something interesting about the still, and formulates a plan to catch it with Frieren the next day. While Friren's team is busy defending their still, Frieren comes up with a plan to catch one for her team. They will imbue a tiny bit of magic into each water source except one. Thus, the mana-sensitive still will go to the one water source Frieren is hiding at, and she'll be able to catch it after suppressing her mana to hide. This plan works great, but once Frieren uses the capturing spell, other teams can sense the location of her mana and immediately pounce and try to steal the bird. Fights for the stills are happening all over. Denkin is extremely strong and an Imperial Mage, but after being overwhelmed by Frieren, Denkin explains why he's at the exams, and we find out that the Great Mage Seri offers every first-class mage a single spell of their choosing, as she knows almost every spell in existence, making the stakes incredibly high for any aspiring first-class mage. We get a flashback of Frieren, Flom, and Flom's master, the Great Mage Seri. The Great Mage offers Frieren any single magic she desires, as Seri has memorized almost all of them, but Frieren declines, saying that magic is the most fun when you're pursuing it, not gifted. Back to the present, and Frieren is putting the beat down on Denkin, an old but powerful mage, and a leader of the group that's coming for their still. At this moment, Levine and Khan are getting beat down because Levine is a water mage, and the barrier around the examination site is stopping all rain from coming in. Frieren then analyzes the barrier and breaks it, to the surprise of the examiners, and also the surprise of Seri, who is watching as well. This allows Levine and Khan to win the fight and secure their victory in the first stage. We later see Denkin's group go and try and steal another still, and at the end see that 6 total teams, including Fern and Frieren's, pass stage 1. We see Frieren's group go out to eat at a restaurant that she had been with the heroes party previously. Coincidentally, Denki's group, who also passed the first round, goes there as well, after Denki states that he had been there previously with his late wife. The next day, Fern is mad and pouting until the rest of the group can acquire sweets for her. Then we see Levine and Khan coming to visit Frieren, thanking her for her help in round 1 and acknowledging that they will be rivals in the upcoming rounds. Just then, a bird delivers the information on exam 2, and they find out that Sensi will be the examiner. They have been the examiner for 4 exams previously, and not a single person has ever passed their exams. Sensi explains for the second exam they will conquer a dungeon, only one passing requirement, reach the core of the Ruined King's tomb. This is a never-before-cleared dungeon. Sensi will accompany them to verify who makes it but won't help them, and gives them escape golem flasks that, if broken, take them out of the dungeon and immediately fail them. The flasks also automatically break the next morning, so there is a time limit. When they enter the cave, it is filled with dangerous monsters and traps, but there are also clay copies of each examinee running around, perfectly copying their mana, skills, appearance, and demeanor. Some are dealt with, and eventually Denkin's group finds Frieren's clone, and he states that if this wasn't an exam, he would already have broken the flask then and there. Nobody can get past Frieren's clone. It is on par with a legit first-class mage and potentially even stronger. They need a plan, and Fern notices something. Frieren, when casting magic, her mana detection cuts out for a split second. It's a beginner mistake that she never fixed, and is made up for with her extreme skill in all other aspects. Frieren looks delighted at Fern's idea, saying that it sounds like a plan. The plan is set in motion. Frieren is fighting her clone one-on-one to divert its attention. The plan is that Fern will hide, and when the moment presents itself, she will use all of her strength for a full force soul track, a magic that a clone of Frieren would have no way to counter. We see a flashback of Frieren delivering Flom's will to Seri. Flom's wish was a world where anyone could use magic, and she had accomplished her goal in the end. We then find out there's still a massive hurdle. There's a clone of the Examiner Sensi, and she is monstrously strong, using her near indestructible hair as a weapon and defense mechanism. Luckily, Yubel has a magic she uses that can cut anything in the world as long as she believes it can be cut, but won't work if she doesn't. No matter how strong Sensi's clone is, Yubel states, hair is meant to be cut, and strikes her down. Back to the fight with Frieren's clone. The openings they're attacking are not big enough for a kill shot from Zoltrak. Frieren states she will create an opening on herself to force her clone into hastily attacking and creating an even larger opening. Using this, Fern deals serious damage, taking both of her arms. But at that moment, the clone casts instantaneous magic, blasting Fern into a wall, almost killing her and decimating her staff. At this moment, Frieren goes in and finally finishes off the clone. They head to the core of the dungeon and break the gem, leading to all other clones to vanish, and the rest of the contestants arrive, passing the second test. Frieren offers to buy Fern a new staff, but this one was gifted to her by Hyder, and she has had it since she was a little girl, thus she won't accept this. Frieren then takes the staff to be fixed, and places it on Fern's bed afterwards. Stark tells her that Frieren may lack the words, but her intent is pure and she won't find a better master. We then find out that Seri will hold the third round of the examination, stating too many people passed due to Frieren clearing the dungeon, and she will interview them and pass those worthy without any harm. She fails everyone up until Frieren with just a glance. Frieren states to Fern that she will most certainly be failed, but that Seri will pass Fern. When Frieren walks in, she asks what her favorite spell is. Frieren responds the one that makes a field of flowers she learned from Flom. We find out that Frieren met Himmel when he was a child and lost. She pointed out the nearest village to him, and when he looked sad, she cast the same spell, revealing a field of flowers. That memory was what led Himmel to add her to the hero party and was the butterfly effect to her life now. But Ciri still fails Frieren. Then Fern comes in and is able to sense Ciri's mana fluctuation, prompting Ciri to tell her to become her apprentice. Fern then refuses, saying that she's Frieren's apprentice. Ciri smiles, turns away, and tells her that she has passed. Ciri passes the next few contestants after Fern, including Denkin, who states that he became a mage to honor his late wife and because he was inspired by the mage of the hero party, Frieren. Frieren is banned by Ciri from Fern's ceremony from pettiness, and waits outside with Stark. This is when Ciri's oldest apprentice, Lernan, wants to leave his mark in history so that Ciri will not be alone when he's gone, and requests a duel with Frieren. This is when Frieren tells him that Ciri remembers all of her apprentices, and that even if she isn't good at verbalizing it, she cherishes them. That calms Lernan down, and the party heads out. As they are leaving the city, they see Levine and Khan, both failed, but say they will try again in 3 years. We then find out that Fern was able to get one spell from Ciri, and much to Ciri's dismay, she shows a spell that perfectly cleans clothes with no effort, thought to be lost to time. Frieren is very happy to see this, and smiles thinking about Ciri getting angry. As long as our journey continues, we can always meet again. Tearful goodbyes don't suit us. After all, it'll be embarrassing when we meet again. And with that, Season 1 ends.